Right. Hello. This is Twisted Wonderland recording, August 30th, 2025. These next few days, I might be a bit later with videos and probably won't do as much of voice recording because I will be at the coast with my family as like a little getaway. So there's that.
ツイステッドワンダーランド。トレビアン、今日の君は昨日の君より美しい。明日の君に会えるのが楽しみで仕方がないよ。
There we go.
授業開始だ。よし、カバン。教科書通りに実験を進めるんだぞ。俺様はお前が間違わないか見守る係をする。
Let's make that a little bit lower.
実力を見せて。
Or maybe not. I'll just be a little bit quieter with my voice.
まとめて相手になってやる。
わかった。構わない。贈り物を授ける。いいことはない。無礼な。
はい。
消えろ。
反省しろ。やだ。了解した。貸し一つっすよ。ローストにしちゃうっす。やるだろ。やだ。
承認します。
少し無理をして一つっすよ。覚悟。
やっつけちゃった。
いいだろう。
コマンド実行。
贈り物を授けよう。おやおや。
いいぞ。了解した。
構わない。
大丈夫か。
贈り物を授けよう。
足をして。
面白
い。受けてみろ。
わかった。いいだろう。贈り物を授けよう。
まだまだ。
身の程を知れ。
訓練のせい。
すぐに終わる。わかった。
コマンド実行。
贈り物を授けよう。
いいことはない。どうだ。
やっつけちゃった。
反省しろ。やだ。はいはい。少しムカムカするか。何か忘れてないかな。それ。
コマンド実行。
信じるぞ。
スキャン完了。
足一つっすよ。どうだ。レベル上げが足りてないっすわ。
よくやった。私も鼻が高い。よし、集中。今日もまた一つ新しい知識が身についた。
Let's do daily lessons of
頑張るとしましょう。
alchemy, history, and fight.
僕の優秀さ、少しはご理解いただけました？
さあ、始まりの鐘が鳴る。終わりこそ美しく、フィン。
今日も頑張るぞ。知識は僕の血となり肉となる。
く終われ。頑張ったら腹が減ったんだぞ。
なんだ？
ああ、だるい。
知識は僕の血となり肉となる。次もハゲも授業も鍛錬の一つだとリリア様に教わった。どの科目でも手は抜かない。
After. Oh.
今日は何を学べるだろう。
After this,
ああ、
I
知っ
checked
て
the
ることばっ
guest
か
room
で退屈な授業
and
だ。
event flashback.
なんだ
Probably won't talk
その
as
不安そうな
much.
顔は。苦手な科目にこそ積極的に挑まなくて
Really
ど
just
うす
kind
る。
of be away from the microphone during that time.
じっとしてると体を動かしたくなってくるな。
Maybe switch around with characters or events. Let's see. I know the Glorious Masquerade's coming up, so this. Jamil, okay. Let's do Rook. And I'll do Silver because Beck's not available.
談話室と違って誇り臭くねえ
Let's
分、もてな
do
す気はあるみたいだな。
Leona.
Ah,
オッケー、すぐに積んでやるよ。
わかった。贈り物を授けよう。元気がないな。
つまらんの。お次はこいつ。おっとおっとおっと。気楽にな。任せとけ。
だらしないぞ。行くぞ。
油断したな。
無駄なこと。
良いさ。
楽しそうだな。
無理は禁物。無理は禁物。
贈り物を授けよう。
おっと、どうじゃ。おっとおっと。
見せてやる。
まだまだ。
やだ。
信じるぞ。
なんてね。
だらしないぞ。どうだ。
逃がさないよ。
よし。
どうだ。おっとおっと。わかった。やってやろうじゃん。さて感謝しなよ。そっからと。おっと、孤立。いてほいっと。
どうだ。
見くびるなよ、愚か者め。
Okay, now that that's done, or actually, hold on. See, there's something that I wanted to craft. Oh yes, a chair. But not there. And I want to save up the gauntlet points refiller. Let's do this. Let's see, this book, Welcoming Guests, 6 chapters. Then let's see the next one. Yeah, touring the market. 11, party traditions. 9, intense competition. That'll be the last one with 10. Yep, let's get into welcoming guests.
豊作村のケルカラト。
Though ironically, in the end of book 7, when the Japanese version came out, he would be at Briar Valley, most likely for the celebration at the end from what is the Japanese version that got released. So you will be at Briar Valley, or at least kind of close to it, because I think it was actually technically Wild Rose Castle that was Malice's mother's, Melionor's castle, and then it was taken over by Silver's family when they, you know. Oh, Grim. Don't you be complaining. I know. A little while ago I went to Crater Lake because I live in Oregon and went over to Crater Lake with some family to celebrate my grandpa's birthday, and hiking down is a bit easy, but going up. But nice thing with dipping into Crater Lake in the ice cold water helped cool down, and that helped a bit going back up. And then definitely make sure that with some of the water that I had to try to drink up as much as I can, and then up there with family that had some water that was left over, drink that up. Especially with kind of going up with elevation as well on that path to Crater Lake is a bit difficult. But the time that we were going there, just pretty busy that day because sometime a little bit later this year they're closing the park, national park, because they're redoing like that path trail for the next few years. So everyone was going there to get in, like have time there before that's closed for the next few years, and kind of around the time before everyone that's kids goes back to school after Labor Day is what we do. So I wanted to be sure that they had some time over there before it's closed down for the time. Dip, I jumped into it twice in the ice cold water at Crater Lake. Yes, downhill is easy, but uphill, I get you uphill. And especially there at Crater Lake, which is how with the elevation with the trail. But you just take your time with that going up. just finding good spots that's like shade and rest, and then having like plenty of water to do that, and especially with a kind of a windy road as well, going back up. If many of you are from Oregon, you know what I'm talking about. Or like that's very close to Crater Lake, and we go there, you know how that trail is like. In my car. Yeah, they don't know his accent. Probably means like nuts or like crazy, cray cray. From his home dialect. If you guys heard any buzzing earlier, that was just my microphone being weird. Don't tell Phil, okay? This is my home. I am allowed to be loose. Yeah, don't tell Jade. You know how sketchy he is. Yes, it's Jade Leech from Octopanel. You don't trust Jade with your secrets unless you have a death wish. A lot of these stories are kind of nice that there's just like a twist to it and you don't have any battles, and with the event flashbacks right here, don't have to go through battles on some of them. Just kind of nice. And a pretty cool thing that when you do get the character's card, that you can use those in normal battles or any other event that does have that, or just in general, with exams and like the Crafter's Gauntlet and main story battles. Stucco. Oh, yeah. Hydrated lime. Very interesting. Oh, yeah, because limestone. It probably helps with temperature-wise. Yeah, something like that. So it helps with them living in the mountain range. I'll be stepping away for a moment, and recording will kind of stop at that moment, but then I'll come back and redo that, but you probably won't notice because I'll do some editing with it. But just so you know, I will be stepping out for a bit to go get some lunch. I'll see you later. we're back. Had to step away for a bit, and then turned out that my Bluetooth headphones were being weird with the microphone, so I just had to do a normal set of headphones to try to be sure to connect through it. But it did work out with how I was able to do some editing, but to actually be fully connected with the microphone, you need to have like plug-in headphones and not a Bluetooth earbud. Microphone, I just kind of will put it aside. It's just kind of the tiny one. I don't have a book on thingy where I could just have it on a shirt. Also, need to find one where it can kind of help keep it stabilized so that it's not draping over. Just kind of moved away in the hand, but yeah, just try to find something that can connect it well enough to keep it stable. The microphone might pick up on other stuff, but I made sure to have some other stuff cut off, but probably will still hear some stuff, and that's just my brother in the background. And the trip that I'll be on, it'll just be me and my parents out the coast, and my grandma will be watching my younger brother. Then when we leave in the morning, we'll be going to breakfast to just see some other family before we head out. Their pom-pom outfits have always looked so kind of comfy, especially Appel's, and kind of more dressy. And he has like a snow fairy, and just the cap as well. Sorry if you picked up on that. I was trying to keep that burp closed in, but it might have picked up on that. I have my mouth closed. It's just microphone picks up on stuff. Yeah, I guess the reason why I kind of like it a bit more with their outfits is because they're handmade. Comfortable, and it's made from love. Kind of a bummer that we don't get to really see the clothes that we have as the MC and you. But hey, that's like where fan art comes in. And especially when you know a little bit of context details with our boys right here. Like especially with Stitch's Tropical Turbulence, that they mentioned that like we match with Grimm's beach attire. So that kind of helps with how to do a good clothes layout for our character, and just kind of do it based on everyone else, and like depending on how they want to identify their character, just kind of do it based on of that, like what the style would be, whether male, female, or gender neutral. But yeah, I think maybe kind of an easy way with some of this that since we're not like exactly genderized, kind of like unisex fitting of clothes would probably work well. But yeah, apple palms, it's pretty cute. You have the knit apple pom-pom on top of the hat. Though Abel's hat is a little bit different. But there's still apples embroidered in it, and like the pin or whatever it would be on a hat like that that's styled in it with apple slices, which is pretty cute. And like flowers right here, which I guess maybe kind of like apple blossoms from an apple tree, works with it as well. Such a cute hat. Yeah, it doesn't have it, but he still has apple patterns. Yep, just like I said with Jade, cute. Oh, it's not the worst way to describe it. Oh, Appel is still unsure with that because we know with his insecurities and just overall character with his appearance and background and all that and like what Vil expects him to be. Nice save, Jade. Or maybe not like as enthusiastic as Appel wanted. Yeah, like even without the leaf on the top where it's like supposed to be an apple, I always love that with those hats, like with those knitted hats where there's kind of like that pom-pom. So it's just like one strand with the leaf, but some of you probably would know what I mean, that there's kind of more like strands where it's kind of like crazy hair on some of them, like at least like with little kids, but then there's some that are just the straight one with nothing on and it's just the ball. I always find that to be cute with those hats. Though a lot of with the hats they have like, at least like here with Sebek, like without the pom-pom, he'd be like Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation. And I do have a hat that's styled like that, but haven't used it like that much often because I have something else to help with my ears, but I still have like that style of hat where it's probably not like the same material as Cousin Eddie, where I think it's more leathery. Mine's a bit more softer so that it's like warm with the ears and like just kind of a wool or just kind of a softer fabric for my ears. But I just still have that just in storage for the winter, which getting like at the end of summer at least, and then it'll come in with winter. But yeah, just like where I am, like in Oregon, it's been a hot summer and just kind of in and out, or just kind of like hot weather, but then there's been some lucky times where like just in the evenings, a few times, like a few weeks in and out, some rain, and that's helped a bit. And especially with here at my house with some little garden that we have, or with me helping some family whenever they're like out of town, I just go to their place to take care of their outdoor water plants. And sometimes if it rains, that kind of helps with watering, especially with some other plants that I haven't done in a while, but they're like on a water sprinkling system, but with that extra rainwater it helps. Which from what I mentioned that I went to Crater Lake earlier for my grandpa's birthday, fun fact, Crater Lake, water of Crater Lake is like collected from rain water and like melted snow, because where it is Mount Mazama, like had like shook or like erupted and like created a crater within itself as well, which I remember there was like this kind of tour thing we kind of listened when we went into the park. Cardinia or something like that, but pretty much the difference between that is Cardinia is more of a crater that goes inward, and crater is more of the outward when there's like the aftermath of the eruption of a volcano. But yeah, like it's technically a Cardinia, a crater lake, and within like the lake there is Wizard Island. That's just like a small land that's right there, and it says that it's more like there's kind of a little bit of a crater in that as well. That's why it's more known as Crater Lake, but don't know for sure. But Crater Lake is like made from that, and like all that water is from the rain and the snow. And right there where they're being like more kind of like more of a mountain range sort of, and just a volcano, a lot of snow gets up there like 40 feet, at least 40 feet a year is like what's piled up in there. And like with the national park and with their like being buildings now, from like the last few years ago, they had to do some rebuilding to kind of help more with the structure so that there wouldn't be like as much of snow like collapsing in the buildings that it probably had done years ago because of how high and deep the snow can get up there. So yeah. But yeah, like 40 feet is pretty high. And yeah, as I mentioned before, that the water there, that it can be, that it's cold and that, yeah, it's pretty much like you're taking like an ice water bath, or just like an ice bath is like what it's like. And when you kind of get a little bit used to it, it's a bit of enjoyment. But yeah, it's pretty fun when you're doing that, like jumping in twice. Just kind of like with a nice ledge of rocks to kind of get off safely, and then just kind of go in and woo. But yep, it's pretty fun, and kind of did like a little bit of swimming in it, but not as much because yeah. But after that, I kind of helped with that where I wouldn't be like as much of a sweatiness, or didn't actually really sweat that much with like when the sun out there, like it was pretty hot day, but like going into the ice cold water has helped as a way to block my body from the sun rays. And just the overall heat, and then like feeling a bit of the extra excursion from going uphill on the train to get back trail to get back up to the top, and there's just the elevation as well. But yeah, just that Havasabek. Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Oh yeah, and the hat that Edia has, like that's the one I'm kind of talking about, where it has like those strands. Yeah, and like even sometimes there might be those balls or just something else, but that's the kind of hat that I'm thinking of that they have, for it's just that kind of knit work. And there's like pom-poms at the end of the tails and like on the head, on the very top. And then Grimm's bow is pretty cute and like very stylish. With all this with apples, I remember I helped my mom with making some apple crisps in the air fryer, which pretty much is a simple recipe if you have like an air fryer. Though you might be able to do it in the oven, but we just had like our air fryer like at 300 and just had apple slices coated in sugar and cinnamon and put it in there for 15 minutes and then do another few minutes of like every 5 minutes tossing the crisp in there until they were like golden brown or like as crispy to be kind of like chips. Should try those sometime, like before we run out, to actually try apple crisps. But yeah, we're here with mentioning that using snowpack things. I remember we've seen like some survival shows and like I think it would be survivalist or it's just like one where it's like the last man standing and they're just different parts of the world where they're kind of within where it's like the coldest, kind of close to within is the coldest times of the year. But that there's like some with them that they had like some survival instincts where they would do something where it's with snow or something else that they have the material in the wilderness to build like a kind of like a outdoor refrigerator or like reservation to have their food, especially when they have stuff that's like meat from like the wildlife there with like deer or fish, probably more specifically fish, to kind of keep it reserved in that, and also kind of add some other stuff to try to keep the scent of that meat away from predators like bears that might be within the area. I think it's more like where they would have snow like within their at that time of the year where it's the coldest. I think it's mostly like where they're at is between Alaska and Canada. It's like kind of a small island off the coast of that where they would go in. I think Survivor is what it's called, but I can't remember exactly if that's the name, but it's just pretty much where last man standing within that time, no matter how long it's been, just whoever is the last one standing would win a cash prize, and they would just have to rely on their survival skills. And there are times that they would have to pull out if they know that they can't make it or through as a last man standing, or if there's like medical reasons, but pretty much they try to stay as long as they can and rely on their skills of survival and just hope that they keep their sanity intact. Yeah, like that where it's like blocking the doors. That's like what it would be like at Crater Lake with how high the snow can get with like those buildings, and then like with the snow that's like on the roofs that it would like collapse into the building. So they had to redo like the structure to kind of make sure that that doesn't happen, or at least minimize the damage with a majority of those buildings. Like with kind of like a lodge hotel they have, or just visiting center, or just like buildings for the park rangers to keep them stable during those cold winter months. Though I'm not sure how much work like with the rangers will be having out there, or what they're going to be doing, because with Crater Lake being closed for the next few years, with them redoing that trail from just kind of a parking area and then going down to the actual lake, of what are they going to do? Like, they kind of doing more of part of that as their job of doing that, or is do they have someone else doing it? But we'll see. Tinkerbell is still a firecracker, no matter how old he gets. Especially when we know that he has like a bit of that, a little temper when, yeah, and then he just goes on a rant within like his native dialect. Country boy. Some of you may remember it here with the encore, but you know exactly what the picture is, but I won't do any more detail to anyone who has never played the game or knows, like with this event, if they played it before or haven't done the encore or the original in the event flashbacks. You know like exactly what that picture really is, and won't give any spoilers until the very end. Grim is ready. And that is the end for today. Tomorrow we'll be doing touring the market. Though it might be a little bit later in the day because parents and I will be leaving pretty early in the morning, at least waking up early enough to meet with our family for breakfast and then heading out to the coast. So probably not until after we're settled, or maybe not until the evening, or just a little bit later in the day, or I might not do as much recording and probably won't even worry about doing voiceover, or at least not as much, so I can enjoy some vacation with my family. But that's pretty much what I have planned.
実験か。俺様ちまちました作業は嫌いなんだぞ。ま、たまに楽しい時もあるけどな。
I'll see you guys later in the future. Bye. Oh, sorry. That was just me like moving my iPad off its propping device on the screen, but it probably made a loud noise. So sorry about that. Well, bye Z's for real. Bye.